también fui feliz y creí en ti vivir toda una eternidad. Pero no hay que confiar porque el tiempo nos dará la tempestad.
I was born in 1937, December the 23rd, 1937. My childhood was a very happy childhood. We didn't have too much, but I always knew that my dad would work. He was born in Galeana, Nuevo León, which is about, I guess, about 120 miles, 150 miles south of Monterey, if I'm not mistaken, going to Saltillo. So it's a beautiful little town. I think it was right at the end of it, because he was born in 1908. So if he came to the United States at the age of 14 or 15, that puts him around 1921, 22, somewhere around there. According to the story that he used to tell us, is that he used to work for the railroad, slept there at the railroad tracks, did all kinds of odd jobs, and finally he wound up in Beaumont. Again, I would imagine working with the railroad. One morning, this couple found him sleeping by the railroad track. So they went and got him. Of course, probably asked him, what are you doing there? You're so young and all that. And he probably told him, well, I left home. He said, look, we'll take you in. We'll adopt you. You don't have to work. We send you to college. We send you to school. We send you to college. And my dad said, that's not what he wanted to do. So anyway, he stayed there for a few days or a few weeks. And finally, he took off and ventured to what he eventually wound up in Houston. In Magnolia Park, he got married with my mom at 1929, October the 20th. When we were all born, there were 8 of us, and 2 of them had passed away. He became a U.S. citizen right before World War II. I remember this so clearly, that he was so proud because the Navy had called him. He said, I want to go fight for my country, the country that gave me the opportunity. And he was so excited and so proud to be able to do that. Well, I don't know what happened. I guess the government discovered, hey, this guy has 6 kids. How are we going to support the whole family if perhaps something goes wrong with him? So he was very disappointed when they didn't take him after all. Dominguez, my mom, my loving mama, which she was always there for us. I tell my wife, I said, Mom was always there. We had tortillas in the morning. We had tortillas at noon. We had tortillas in the afternoon. Every time, even when we were out from school, that still went on. He was a very proud man, a very honest person, worked all his life. Day and night, he retired after 27 years from the Port of Houston. He worked in different jobs throughout his young days. And one thing that I always remember, he said, son, when I came here from Mexico, he said, I never dressed like the Mexicanos up there. I always dressed like if I was from here. He said, so therefore the immigration never stopped me, because I didn't look like them. He said, I wanted to just blend in with the people the way the guys used to dress here in the United States. Oh God, I can imagine. And having to put up with unfortunate discrimination at that time, not being educated as far as college educated, because he was a very smart person. He had finished, in Mexico they finished school at a very early age. Street born, and ambitious, I guess, wanted to do something for himself. And the fact that his father didn't want for him to go to college, I guess that gave him, I'm going to go and do what I can on my own. And which he did. He was a very strict parent. In fact, I joined the Marine Corps because of that. So I joined the Marine Corps to get my freedom, but little did I find out that the Marine Corps had more strict than my father was.
I met him in Magnolia Park. I started going to Grandma's house when I was 14 years old. He asked me to be his girlfriend when I was 15, and he wanted for me to marry him. when he joined the Marines. But my mother said, no, you wait for him because I want for you to get married by the church and have a wedding. So I did, and when he got back, a few years after, we got married in 1960 and been married since then. My in-laws, because they were very, very nice people, and Grandma would always make, like the Christmas holidays, she would always make it fun for the whole family. She used to make the best tamales in Magnolia.
What do you remember about Magnolia Park when you were young?
Oh, Magnolia Park was very, very happy. All the girls and boys used to go to De Zavala Park to see their boyfriends and girlfriends, and that's where me and Mr. Dominguez would meet a lot of times. There used to be an ice cream parlor across the street, so all the boys and girls would go across the street to eat ice cream and hang around. We were just teenagers, so we loved Magnolia Park. We have a lot of memories there in Magnolia Park. We started Farmers International when we lived in Pecan Park. My husband started doing farmers in the garage. Then he would build like 3 or 4 farmers at the time. Then when they got their first contract with Frito-Lay, they got a little more farmers, so they moved to North Side.
My dad, when he became a U.S. citizen, when there was an election of any kind, I can guarantee you he was the first one there at the voting. He said, I'm going to vote. And he used to drag my mom with him. My mom said, oh, I don't know who am I going to vote. You're going to go in there, you're going to vote. And believe me, I know that a lot of times he was probably the first one in line to vote. He's a very prideful man, very, very prideful man.
que nos pasa